Everybody, and welcome to Kentucky Derby Prep Recap. I'm Dan Illman along with Mike Beer, and we're going to take a look back at the El Camino Real Derby, going 1.1 miles over the Tapeta surface at Golden Gate Fields. Now, it's not a graded stakes race, Mike, but there are some Kentucky Derby qualifying points on the line, and perhaps more importantly for the winner of this race, Rombauer, he gets an automatic berth into the Preakness.
Yeah, and listen, Rombauer, it feels like this was maybe a Derby prep only for Rombauer, who was the favorite making his 3-year-old debut here.
We break from the gate. Rombauer breaks from the far outside. He is number 9. Now, keep in mind, this is his first start since he finished 5th in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. So while he was getting substantial class relief, we had not seen him in 3 months. He was going a demanding 1 1/8 off that 3-month layoff, and he was doing it while racing on a synthetic surface for the first time.
Right. I mean, it felt like in a lot of ways, based on the competition, this was a great spot for him. But all those things that you just mentioned were certainly could have been considered stumbling blocks for him. You can see him here. He's last early. That's kind of where you expected him to be. All in all, you know, his rider did the right thing. He saved some early ground with him. He let him settle into a stride. And it really helps that they're going a pretty good pace in front of him here.
Oh, this is certainly a legitimate pace. The first quarter, 24. They're going to go 23 this second quarter. Were you surprised that Petruccio, third in the Los Alamitos Futurity in his prior start, was so close to the pace? He was really keyed up early.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like maybe he could have backed off a little bit, but all in all, I don't think, the way the race was run necessarily had anything to do with his performance, or he just didn't run well. It's really the horse on the lead here, Dan. He's a 30-1 shot. It's My House, and he's stretching out for the first time off of a maiden win. This horse runs a pretty big race in here on this pace.
And it looks like for a brief moment, he's home. She's kicked clear right now by about 3 lengths. You're seeing Rombauer beginning to pick up horses now, and you're going to see the horse in blue. That's the filly taking on the boys, Javanica, a horse that's run very well on turf in the past. She's going to make the first run into this race. She still has some work to do. She's eventually going to collar this pace setter, but Rombauer has hit his best stride.
Yeah, he's closing out there widest there with the big front wraps on. He had a lot of work to make up, a lot of ground to make up in the last quarter of a mile, Dan. He stays on very well here. He's going to get up right at the wire. All in all, I thought this was a pretty good return for Rombauer. A race he was supposed to win, but he did get it done. The filly ran well. She was just second best.
Buyer speed figure of only an 84 for Rombauer. He can obviously build off of that. This was only his 5th lifetime start. He is a son of Twirling Candy, and there is some stamina in this pedigree, although it is interesting to note that the dam is a half-sister to California Flag, who won the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, and as well as Cambio Corsa, who was just a down-the-hill turf sprint terror. But Rombauer's bred to handle the distance. What's next? That's the key. I'm just not sure Rombauer is as good as the other 3-year-olds based in Southern California right now. It seems that Bob Baffert has just about all of them, led by Life is Good. But what's wrong with running in a race like the Jeff Ruby Stakes at the end of March? 250,000, same 1 1/8 difference, different synthetic surface, but polytrack all the same.
Yeah, I mean, they have options with this horse. And listen, again, if nothing else, it was just nice to see him come back, win a race he was supposed to win, handle distance, handle a different surface. It feels like this horse can do anything. He's already won on turf. He's already run well on the dirt. Now he can handle synthetic. I mean, he's just a really likable horse. Does he have to get better? Yeah, he has to get better, but he did what he had to do here.
I like Javanica's effort because she made the first run into the teeth of that pace, took over the lead, held on very gamely to only lose by a neck. I think she can do some damage against the 3-year-old filly set on turf in Southern California.
Yeah, she ran pretty well in here. Her turf form prior to this was obviously very good. And she showed in this race that she could handle some tougher competition, a little bit more distance, and a different surface too. So she ran very well in this race, but she was just second best to the winner.
As you mentioned, while the replay was going, It's My House was really the only part of this pace to hang around at the end. He finished 4th and understandably tiring. They were asking a lot of this horse coming off of his prior start stretching out, but he ran well, and maybe he has a little bit of a future as a middle distance horse in Northern California.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if nothing else, it'll be interesting to see what he does next, Dan, because he really ran well in here, considering how fast this pace was. I mean, he was never going to beat the 1-2 finishers who were the 2 favorites. But man, he only lost third to a huge long shot coming from way out of it at the end. I mean, this horse, he almost beat Dynamics in here. This was a pretty strong performance.
Rombauer, the popular winner of the El Camino Real Derby, returned $4.40. Next race still to be determined, but he's won the El Camino Real Derby. A win and you're in for the Preakness. Maybe we'll see him in the second Jewel of Racing's Triple Crown.